Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling? As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Hill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Salt, good morning. Fabna Reddy, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett, good morning. Josephine Sandra, everybody, good morning. Good morning, good morning. How are you? You will notice that I am not actually in the studio. I've some very posh fire. Can I show you? Yeah, I can. Very posh fire surround there. Let me know if you're watching along. Like, I want to talk to y'all this morning. How you doing? Are you feeling good? It is, what day is it? Wednesday. She doesn't know what day it is anymore. For those of you that are wondering, I am not in Casa del Wallace at the moment. I'm not in the new house. I'm actually somewhere in the darkest recesses, but the most beautiful recesses of Warwickshire, I think. I popped the postcode into my sat nav and I ended up here, which is this beautiful farmhouse. And the reason why I'm here is because I am doing an intensive. So, traveling for business reasons. I have an incredible client that I'm working with on her messaging, on her story. I am so excited. The beautiful position, and I've just been talking to our fantastic guest this morning. We've got Emily Harrison from the Measure Up joining us this morning. We've just been talking about being in a position within your business to be able to say yes to the clients that you really want to work with. And sometimes from a boundary setting point of view, no to the clients that might not be a right fit. And as it stands, and it took a couple of years to get here, as it stands, as of today, every single person that crosses the threshold to come and work with an IATQB, to come and work with me as their coach and their mentor, are absolute dreamboats. So we've hired out this beautiful cottage in Warwickshire with the most beautiful views, really creative views. So that we could do this safely. We are keeping distant. We are doing all the things to keep ourselves safe. So, you know, if anybody's concerned about that, like, I got this, don't worry. But yeah, we are going to be working hard over the course of today with the short break of you guys. So good morning. Let me know where in the world you're watching from this morning. I do have the map for anybody who's missing the map. Like, I brought it with me because, you know, I can't do any training or teaching without my flip chart. So we do have the shit weather map here. I just don't have the shit weather bees. So yeah, let me know what the weather's doing where you are. Do tell me in the comments if you're watching along, where you're watching along from, and what you're excited about. That's what I want to know this morning. I want to know what you're excited about, because I'm excited about a lot of things as a general default setting. However, next week, Tuesday to Friday, we are running, or I am running, one of my favorite things to do in the IATQB Hive. So those of you that don't know, the IATQB Hive stands for I Am the Queen Bee. It is my free community, and twice a year in there, we do the Be Heard So You Wanna Be a Speaker Challenge. So over the course of 4 days, so 3 days, we do challenge tasks. And on the 5th day, we have a big old celebration where we go through getting more visible. So my joyful task next week is getting as many of you as humanly possible, as visible as we can next week. So excited about that, about you guys getting signed up. If you want to get amongst it, it is completely free to take part. So all you need to do is go to iamthequeenbee.co.uk/challenge. Go and get yourself signed up. There are some mega prizes available as well. So we've got a spa and strategy retreat with your girl for the top winner. We've also got some incredible luxury hampers, Harvey Nichols hampers. We've got IATQB merch on the go. There's loads of wicked prizes that you can win just for taking part. There's no catch. There's no catch at all. Just come and take part. So the way that you win the prizes is that you do the tasks daily, you tag me, and that's it. Easy peasy squeezy lemons. Then come along to the celebration live and come and have some Prosecco and champagne with me next Friday evening. So that's happening next week, the Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker Challenge. If you want to know more about it, if you go to imthequeenbee.co.uk/challenge, then on there it'll break it all down, what to expect at the different days. It will be after the show. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. We're not doing it on the Monday because it's bank holiday. I think I'm going to take the day off on Monday and do something nice with the kids, which I'm quite excited about. So yeah, that's that. We've got the what was I going to say then? We've got the challenge next week. Then the week after, we're going to be opening the doors to Be Heard and Be Inspired. So if any of you are wanting to get involved with that, if you go to my website, imthequeenbee.co.uk, click packages, Be Heard and Be Inspired are the programs that we are opening the doors up to. So I'm taking in my newest cohort. Like, we've not even launched yet, and already we've sold 5 spaces. It's insane. We are. Or do I tell you now? I think I want to tell you now. I'm not going to. What do I do? I can't keep shit to myself, you lot. You're terrible. We are going to run a 2-day in real life event, as long as things continue to go the way that they do. So we're going to have a day 1 cohort and a day 2 cohort. I'm going to give as many people as are following this the opportunity to come and speak and get all of their incredible speaker assets for Be Inspired. Hopefully by the end of this week, I'll be able to share with you the promo, the ad, I guess, for Be Inspired. We had an incredible videographer there. We had David Niven from Spirit Films there recording the whole thing with us. I know the quality of his work. He's the guy that's going to be creating all the speaker show reels for all of our speakers. And he's doing me a really special promo for this launch. I cannot wait to show you. Oh my God, I think I'm just going to cry the entire time as I'm watching it, because just the quality of his work is off the shizzle. So I'm really excited to share that with you, either at the end of the week or beginning of next week, fingers crossed. So yeah, we've got the doors opening to that. The Flying Away Foundation is tootling along. For those of you that are waiting for the ambassador meeting, hold tight, I've got you. We've just been sort of spinning the plates to get Be Inspired done. It was quite a big situation. I don't know if you noticed. If any of you are wanting to catch up on Be Inspired, you can. All you need to do is go to the Queen Bee Dani. I can't show you, it's over there. The Queen Bee Dani page on Instagram. Just type in the Queen Bee Dani, go to my link tree. I think it's the second link down. You can go and sign up to the challenge. You can go and grab yourself some retrospective on-demand access to Be Inspired. No, loads of you felt like you missed out last week. You don't have to. It's all good. We've recorded it and it's all uploaded because Wallace is an absolute rock star. Okay, that's everything that I need to tell you. I want to know in the comments what you are excited about, what's coming up for you. Whilst I welcome on to the show a friend of mine, a previous client of mine, all round phenomenal human being. What this woman does with her bridal business and reels is something that keeps me daily entertained. Her team are phenomenal. She is a Wonder Woman. She is about to become the Mary Poppins of the business situation, and I am excited to have been even a small part of her journey. Please welcome the very glorious Emily Harrison. Good morning.
Good morning. I feel like my head should explode now with that amazing introduction. That was insane. Thank you, my darling. That was good.
Are most welcome. One of my favourite things to do is introduce people onto things. Like, it makes me feel happy inside. Like, so much so that a lot of my friends kind of just want me to go around with them to announce them into a room when they walk into it.
That would be amazing. Could I book you the first time we go out, please? I'll make an effort and then you can just announce me arriving in a room.
I am available for those sorts of bookings. I'm here for it. Good morning, Emily Harrison. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for letting me on.
Let you on. It was like, get on my show. You need to be on my show because I was just saying right at the top end of the show, one of the really lucky, beautiful positions that I get to be in with my business now, and we were talking about this just before we went live, is that I get to choose who I work with just as much as my clients choose to work with me. And it is a beautiful, beautiful position to be in. And you chose to work with me and Nikki James in tandem last year for the Rockstar Level Up. So I've had the privilege of being able to see you on a newer part of your journey for the last, can you believe it's almost a year now that those conversations started to take place? June last year. That's mental.
Insane. That's insane.
So
that's insane. Yeah, gosh.
I was just going to say, tell us about, because you've got two businesses.
Yeah.
Tell us about the established business, and then I want you to tell us about the business that is being established now.
So I run and own a bridal shop in Sheffield, Yorkshire, and this is our 14th year of celebrating moments. So it's a weird thing. So if someone says to me, what do you do? And I sell wedding dresses. I don't sell wedding dresses. That's the second thing. I like meeting people, and I like creating, I like making someone feel better about themselves. They walk in and they walk out feeling better about themselves. That is basically what we do day in, day out. And we mess around with reels, and we put wedding dresses on for most of our day. So it's pretty cool. It's a good job. It's fun and it's stressful and busy, but it's incredibly rewarding. And we're at a point now where when you hit a bit of a sail, you've got your wind and you've got that right point. I don't know. I don't sail, so that sounds really weird.
I get what you mean, though. When you hit your stride with something.
Cruise control.
Yeah, you just need to adjust a little bit here and there.
Yeah. I'm on cruise control, which sounds like I'm complacent, and it's not. It's because we run on value. We run on what sets our heart on fire. So everything we do is because we're passionate. Everything we do is because we care about each other and we care about what we do. So we're in a really exciting position to actually just love everything about it. So it's fun, and we don't do the norm. So we're a little bit edgy. Some of our reels are a little bit, should we do that? But at the same time, it's a bit
always yes.
Well, it's always a yes, because it's fun. And I think one of the things that for this last year has taught me is to never underestimate the importance of connection and the importance of just putting something out there, because you never know the impact it will have on somebody else. And the reels and the way we've been able to connect with brides and create a bit of a community just on our social media has been so rewarding and so powerful that actually I don't think we'll ever stop doing reels now. The girls are a bit like, are we really going to, can we stop them? No, we're not. We're still going to be crazy.
It's quite addictive when you're in the creative space.
Well,
I love it. And I mean, it's great to watch.
It's great. It takes, I mean, reels, anyone that does reels will know it takes a long time to sort. It's a full-time job if you wanted to do it properly. But yeah, hey, we'll make it work.
It's worth it. And also for the past year, it has been on and off as to whether your doors are open or closed, and whether we like it or not. Wedding dress and the wedding industry has been considered for the most part non-essential for the whole of lockdown. Really, that must have really taken a knock, because we think of our work as essential. If you think you create moments, it's the art, I guess, of the industry that is really what's missing. Is the bit of humanity in us, I guess, the bit of us that wants to connect, that wants to have events, that wants to do these things, that wants to take their bridesmaids and the mum-in-law with them to the wedding dress shop to go and try the wedding dress on, because that's a beautiful experience at your shop and things like that. How was that for you when the start of it all?
Shit.
It was shit.
It was. There's two sides to it, because as a business it was catastrophic. The first lockdown was before I met you. So the first lockdown, when they locked down, I still get that pain in my chest. I just watched the business. It still hurt. It pains. It gets me close to tears when I think about that moment. When what I felt like watching my business and the wedding industry just fall apart. It was literally like watching this beautiful glass shatter on the floor. It was devastating, and watching the sadness across the whole industry. It wasn't just us. It was literally, the wedding industry is about celebrating life and about celebrating love, and to whole thing cut it out. It just it just became so desperately sad, and that's not what we did. So actually every conversation we had became sadness, and every conversation we had was about difficult issues and things about postponing or putting things back. But do you know what became really heartwarming throughout all of that was the solidarity of the wedding industry. Everyone got together, everyone switched, pivoted, did different things.
Yeah.
But the motivation, the drive, and the commitment that so many businesses had to have, I think, has been so empowering for so many people, in the fact that they've got through one of the hardest things in the world. And one of the hardest things in any business is to be told that you can't do something.
Yeah.
To have your door shut by somebody else when all you know is to open that door, when all you know is to see
it out of your
someone.
hands, isn't it? Everyone got the same curveball, and sometimes these curveballs are served to us as individuals, but never as an industry, never as like the whole thing. And that was like when I met you. You know, we were a few months in, and I know you've been doing some work with Nikki. You've been close to Nikki for a long time. For anybody who doesn't know, we're talking about the phenomenal Nikki James, just brand new. Please do go and check her out. She is just an amazing human to have in your life. And we decided to do some work together. And Nikki had said to me, "There's this woman that I work with. She's a really good friend of mine, who I think will be, you know, great on the Rockstar Level Up. But not necessarily for the thing that she thinks is the thing that she may need us for." Because like you said, you've had this very successful business now for 14 years. You know the industry inside out. You can't not, when you've been in it for that length of time. I'm not saying that you're long in the tooth or anything, but you can't help but be, one of the beautiful things about you is you take yourself to school about the things that you do, and you always keep right on top of what's coming up. And again, like the Reels is a perfect example. Having your podcast is a perfect example of you as a businesswoman keeping almost 2 steps ahead of everybody else around you, so that you do have that edge. And one of the most phenomenal skills that, I mean, we found you to have, and you found within yourself, was this ability to look at other businesses, and in much as we laugh about the term, but kind of like Mary Portas does for the customer service industry, because you are so customer centric with everything that it is that you do. There's only so many wedding dresses that you can sell within a shop situation. You have this whole skill set on the outside that you started to build up. Tell us a little bit more about the Measure Up.
So that's one of the things that I am so grateful about COVID, actually, is being able to meet you and being able to spend that time away from what I was doing, because obviously the shop was closed. So I have time. I focused on that. It became very apparent that there was something there, because I couldn't do it with my business. There was only so much I could do with it. There was something else. And I realized that actually it's not just about being able to understand what a business can do or the strategies within it. It's how you can place someone within that business and allow that person to feel more empowered, to adjust it, to shape how they want it to be. We spend a lot of time in business stuck based on someone else's expectations or someone else's strategies and procedures and how we think something should be. That actually, to be able to be told, and that's what you and Nikki did for me, to be able to go, do you know what, you could do that. Why don't you try that? I think it's really important, empowering. And when we run our own businesses, we are so stuck thinking, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do that, I've got to do this. My accountant's going to kill me if I do anything else. We are stuck on a cycle of expectation that actually, when we have an ability to stop and look at something and think, does this serve me? Does this serve my customer? Does this serve the future of the business? Or am I just doing it because I have to do it, or because I have to follow something else? And that's where I can see something. I can see that there is always another option. I have that ability, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I always question the rules, and maybe that's why I run my own business, because I always questioned. I couldn't stand uniform at school. I couldn't understand the concept of why I had to wear a certain colour socks. It's pointless to me. So I didn't like following what was expected. So I've got that rebellious streak in me in everything that I do, and And I want to empower other people to say, do you know what? If you want to wear different coloured fucking socks, sorry, wear different coloured socks.
Don't you
It
be
doesn't
sorry about
matter.
dropping the F-bomb on here, like you can do. You're in safe company.
Good.
We are not safe for work because we're on our own businesses and we're grown up, so we can say fuck and
Yeah.
bugger if we want to.
Brilliant.
So, I mean, the skill that you have isn't just about, looking at, the different things that you can do, or, how do you stand apart? It's really being able to convey that as well. Like one of the incredible ways in which you work, and I've seen you do this. We had a cohort of 20 on the Rockstar Level Up, 20 incredible, phenomenal human beings who we just was like all in love with each other. It was amazing 6 months together. And what you brought to the table, because with a mastermind isn't just about learning from the facilitators, and that's what they are in that position of facilitator. They will, yes, they will run trainings and what have you, but actually it's to hold the space for you guys to lean on each other. One of the amazing things that you do was get people to see what it is that their potential is, and that unlocks a whole new level of success for them. And triggering that belief in someone, that's a skill that I'm not sure you can learn. I think it's just one of your natural God-given abilities. And you created the measure up really off of the back of this realization in yourself. And this quite emotional realization in yourself that what you are capable of is so much bigger than you. And you now go and do that for other businesses, right?
Yeah, I love it. I think it stems from being a people pleaser. I love making someone feel better about themselves. And it pains me to watch someone measure themselves against someone else and compare themselves or say that they're not good enough. So for me, that really saddens me. So I fundamentally want to make them better. I want them to believe in what they have. So it's I can't turn it off. It's like a need, I guess it's like having to flick a switch all the time in case, or go and check that your iron's turned off. It's I can't stop without having to try and make someone feel better.
It's like a calling.
That might seem,
it's like a calling.
Yeah, and I've learned throughout the years that does drain you, and it's how you deal with that as a business owner, as a person. And I think we all have issues. We all have things where we work too hard. But I think, like you said, now being in a position where I'm now doing it as a business, it's so exciting because I get to speak to people that are on a path, or they don't see how amazing they are, or they don't see the skill set that they have because they're comparing themselves to somebody else that they never need to be. And that's part of the problem that we live in, don't we? That we live in this world where we are comparing ourselves to a profit and loss standard, or a success. This insatiable need to be a six-figure business, in that's your winner. Whereas actually, fundamentally, if you chase the things that are of measurement before you even look at what sets your heart on fire and what your mindset is, you'll never reach a goal, because fundamentally we're measuring the wrong thing then, aren't we? We're not measuring what is the most beneficial for us.
Right. And that's it's funny, this week so far on the show has been this real recurring theme around, actually, when you start to do the thing that lights you up, even in your day-to-day. Yes, there still has to be operations. Yes, there still has to be finances. Yes, there still has to be strategy, and all of these things you deal with as well, don't you? You look at that whole package. But like you say, you can't do those things or measure adequately how to improve those things if you're not going from your purpose in the first place. And you must meet, I know I do, people who are so tired of what they do. They're just not asked anymore. They're still thinking, I want a six-figure business, or whatever the bloody metrics are these days, like whatever they are, whether you want I want 50,000 followers or whatever it is. Why do you give a shit?
It was that we did a joke, didn't we? We wanted the swipe up. We were going Operation Swipe Up, and it's not because it means that you're successful. It's that ego boost, isn't it? It's what we feel then deems us to be a success or a level of something, whereas actually it doesn't mean anything. Who is that serving? what is that, you know, jumping on the next bandwagon, jumping on something that looks like it's the next best thing. Who is that serving? If it's not serving your clients or your customers or developing your business, it's only going to serve what that seller, the other business.
Yeah.
And online space has blown up recently, and it is blown up in such a way that is incredible, but also there is a lot of focus on driving forward, moving forward. But what are you driving forward from? Because if you're driving in a shitty car, or you've got this beautiful Land Rover and this Range Rover, but underneath is a clapped out Mini engine, it's gonna burn out halfway down the motorway. What is the point? So you have to understand your fundamentals, your engine. You have to fuel in the right way in order to get anywhere. So I get really frustrated when someone says, oh, you can do this, you can do that. Yes, you can, but why? Why do you need to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
You know, people often will go, oh yeah, I want the Operation 10K, you know, Operation Swipe Up. If we think about the drivers behind that, actually, it isn't because I want the swipe up to drive to my products. I want the 10K to swipe. So if, for example, at the end of this, I would love to be able to say, hey, we had Emily on the show this morning, let's swipe up, let's all go on. And
exactly.
When it becomes less of a vanity metric and more of a how do I help the people that I'm trying to help.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's no longer 10K because I want to look like an influencer. No. It's more about, okay, how is this serving? How is this metric? So if I want to earn £1 million, that's brilliant. What do I want to do with that £1 million? What do I want to feed with that £1 million? What do I want to create and grow with that? How do I want to fucking help with that £1 million that I want to make? Like all of those things. When you get that right behind it, suddenly you are more propelled and more magnetized towards that as an outcome anyway, instead of just oh, I need the 10K a month, or oh, I need the 6-figure business, or it just doesn't feel right. So Emily, tell us, so what sort of businesses do you work with as part of the Measure Up?
I work with pretty much anyone that is customer facing. So that's the online platform. That is anyone that has a customer journey that they take someone through. And that is someone that has maybe, most of mine have started out, or they're at a crossroads and they're a bit like, why does this not feel exciting anymore? They've started their business because they wanted to feel free. Most people start their business because they want to feel free. They're trapped. The problem is that the business becomes to a point where it traps you. You create a monster that needs feeding.
Right.
Generally, and then it becomes relentless. And I often find at that point, that's the point that people need some form of guidance. And that's where that need to, if I did that, then I'll be all right. If I did that, I'll be all right. So then my business is about coming in and going, no, you don't need to do any of that. Let's go back to the basics. Let's understand why you started the business. Let's make sure everything is all based on foundations that are good, that work for you, so that every choice that business owner then makes feels easier, feels much more fun. I'm a huge advocate of outsourcing and actually focusing on what sets their heart on fire. So I've worked with PTs, I've worked with wedding videographers. It's one of these things where it's about that person and their passion. I want to ignite passion back into somebody, because as much as we say we want to make money and we start a business because we want to make money, fundamentally there is more to why they started that particular business. And that's what I focus on, and that's what I love working with. And actually then if you build all of that and you build all that passion, the customers and who you ask to come on board with you, it's such an easier sell, because then they understand where you're coming from. You magnetize your ideal customer. You create loyalty because you're creating a brand that they believe in. Whereas actually, if you're just talking very surface level bullshit, you can see straight through it now, especially when the online market is so full, and social media is full of the next fantastic shiny thing, and everyone can jump on board reels. The only thing that makes you different is why you started and why you do what you do and how you say that.
So with that in mind, then, so anybody that's customer facing, and that leaves it quite wide open, and lots of us are told in this industry, you must niche, you must niche, you must niche, you must like talk to the 35-year-old single parent who wants to create, or whoever it is that we get told to niche to. What are your thoughts around niching? My table's firmly out is that I'm an inclusive brand, and I want to work with as many people as possible. People come to work with me, so I become the niche. It's that people are attracted to work with Dani Wallace and within IATQB than it is that they are any one particular type of person. And be inspired is like a testament to that. And if we look at everybody that was part of the Rockstar Level Up as well, bloody hell, we had you in there, we had artists in there, dog trainers in there, CSI events companies in there. Like, it was so varied. What are your thoughts on niche?
I think the focus is wrong. I think when you create a niche based on demographics, it's the wrong, again, you're measuring the wrong ideal version of the ideal client. For me, it's values, it's fundamentals, it's what they want out of life. When you speak, those are your ideal clients. That person can be at completely different stages of their lives.
Right.
That it doesn't really matter, but it's the values of that person. That's what you connect with. That's how you sell. And that's how you create amazing change, is you speak in that way. That's how you connect to your ideal client. Because actually, if you created a demographic based on 35-year-old, 2 kids, just divorced, or whatever that is, you are there. How do you know that their values are the same as yours? How do you know that where do they shop? What do they read? Do you know they're reading and they're shopping there because they want to, or because they think they need to? I just think that if we talk about everything based on demographics, we are measuring in such a way that we are eliminating the whole purpose of what fundamentally helping people is, and that is getting back to fundamental values.
Yeah. Amazing, and really, really sits alongside the way I think about things as well. And I have to hear people talk about niching, and it makes my eye twitch a little bit. I'm like, oh, who are you niching? You? Or are you niching them? Suddenly you're putting yourself in a box that, whilst yes, it's really important as to who you're talking to. Like, it's absolutely pointless if I say I want to talk to all of the master speakers in the world, even though, I could. That's not really who I want to speak to. I don't really want to speak to those people. I really want to speak to the people who've got really something to say. They just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's
the way you're niching. No, but you're still niching because your message is still driven in a focused way, but you've niched in I think a much more authentic way, a much more real way that allows, and also it's exciting working with different people.
Yeah,
their values can still be the same. If you had carbon copies, we're going to create carbon copy businesses, and that is not what sets my heart on fire. My heart is set on fire by allowing someone else to realize their worth and their goals and setting them off. That to me makes no difference how old they are, where they're at. It's if I connect with them and they connect with me, because I'm spending time away from my babies. In order to do that, they'll be doing the same thing. It's a reciprocal thing where the relationship needs to be built on something really important, not whether or not they shop at Zara and they read a certain magazine.
I'm not asked. Like, for those of you that I shop at Georgia Asda, and I'm unashamed about it. That does not mean that I am bringing any less value to the table for anybody, or what have you, or that my pocket is that as small as Georgia Asda's. I'm just shopping there because I always shop there, but it doesn't mean that I'm not able to afford to work with people that I really want to work with.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you niche in that way, you alienate, and you build a brand based not necessarily elitism, because that's not the right thing, because there are businesses that work incredibly well by niching, by being specific with their business,
or luxury or whatever.
Exactly, and that's fantastic, because that's where they need their business to be aligned to. But mine isn't in that. It doesn't set it in that way. For me, I am aligning with who needs me, that actually has the same values as me. So it works in that way.
So what does the process kind of look like? So I'm a business, I'm like, hey, really like the cut of Emily Harrison's gym. I want to know more about the measure up. What happens then? Am I going to ring you, or am I going on your website? Like, what happens then? How does somebody then start working with you?
So most message me, interestingly, most message me and just ask me questions. We do what's the standard thing is an audit, which is a complete overhaul of the business. So we review everything.
Yeah.
And it's broken down into 3 parts that the whole process is broken down into. So we look at the mindset, we look at the method of everything, and then we move on to movement.
Right.
So obviously we look at the engine, then the outset, then we drive forward. So I review everything. So we go back to basics. It's annoying, it's frustrating, and as any business owner, it's a bit like, why am I doing this again? Because I already know it. But actually, if you do the fundamentals again, you can see that there might be some holes and stuff. But everything is geared towards what's going to work. So if, for example, that audit flags up that actually it is employee issues, or it's mindset, it's the fact that they are holding themselves back, which is 9 times out of 10 what happens. That belief that actually they don't think they're good enough to move forward, or that they feel too old, or they feel too out of it. That actually there's so many things around mindset that inevitably we work on. I'm a trained NLP coach as well, so I do a lot of coaching at that point. We then move on to the method. We then move on based on their business. We create an understanding of what we need to measure in order for us to get better. We identify any massive holes, anything that needs to be sorted out. We create all the procedures that need to be moving forward. We set the culture up. We create everything around the values, and we create those pillars so that every decision they make from then on, moving forward, is something that they know fundamentally is the right thing for them and their business. It's not right, which is the right option. Everything becomes so much more easier. So the process is around what they need, but it is mindset, method, movement. And it can be 3 months or 6. It's an intent, like you're doing at the moment. It's intensive, but it's fun. It's good.
But one of the beautiful things about working in this way is you get to put everything on the table and really look at it. And this is something that we as business owners don't often give ourselves space for, because we're constantly moving from one thing to the next to the next. I found myself in that position about 18 months ago, a year ago, where I was hurtling from one launch to the next, to the next, to the next. And I just didn't know where it was that I was going. It really took me, I guess, at the beginning of this year to throw everything down on the table and do that very thing. Like, look, what are the things that I want to launch? What are the things that I don't want to launch? How am I doing it? Why am I doing all this on my own when I don't need to? All of these sorts of things. But it took somebody like yourself on the outside to look at all of these things and say, you don't have to carry all this weight on your own, and actually you free yourself up with bandwidth for that growth and that expansion. I just think it's phenomenal, the work that you do, and I know that the people that come across you, be it as part of your podcast, where it's an absolute scream, your podcast is incredible, be it as part of the reels that you create, or whether someone's coming into the shop to come and buy a dress from you and the team, or whether it's somebody that's coming to you to come and change their business, come and shake their business up and make sure they're measuring up right against themselves. You have this phenomenal ability to just bring out that the best in people, and I'm just so incredibly, it sounds glib, like who the fuck am I to tell you that I'm proud of you, but to see that grow from the floor up, to take all of your strengths. This is the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship. When you take all of your strengths, your zones of genius, your joy space, and then create something phenomenal, we all get to be part of that change. We don't have to be part of that cookie cutter entrepreneurial way anymore, the laptop lifestyle, the six-figure ball. It's all it is. We get to be the change in the world. Emily, how do we work with you? How do we find out more about you and the work that you do?
You can follow me on Instagram. It's The Measure Up, or you can go on my website. It's the www.themeasureup.co.uk. Or if you want to follow the bridal shop just for some reels and a couple of wedding dresses. To be honest, you don't have to watch the wedding dresses, just watch the reels. It's Emily Bridal Wear in the Instagram. But just follow for the reels, it's fine.
Would you do me a favour and pop them in the comments of the chat so people can go and click and find out more about you? Everybody needs a bit of Emily Harrison in their lives. Go and get measured up with my girl. Emily, I love you. I am beyond proud of everything that you create daily. I'm so glad that I get to be a little part of it. And I will speak to you soon. That is the incredible Emily Harrison. from not just Emily Bridleway, but also from the Measure Up. Please do go and check her out. She is a phenomenal human being. You definitely need a little bit of her in your life, especially if you are in that space where you kind of want to look at your business processes and what it is that you're creating within that. Right, enough for today. I am joined tomorrow by a friend of the show and a friend of mine, the phenomenal Lizzie Jackson Barrett. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things tomorrow. Please do tune in. She is an energy that you need in your life, especially on a Thursday. Why on a Thursday? Because, I don't know, it's a day ending in a Y and everyone needs Lizzie Jackson Barrett. So I will see you tomorrow at 9:30 for more Showing Up Wiser Up and Rising Up. Please do make sure you join, make sure you share, make sure you're following me at the Queen Bee Dani on Instagram. We are going slow guns but good guns for Operation Swipe Up. So if you are gaining value from the show, please do share it in your audiences. Please do tell people about it. The more people we get watching, the more incredible people I get to share with the world and hopefully make my little change in my little corner of it. Hope you have a phenomenal day. Please do go sign up to the free Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker challenge. Kicks off Tuesday 10:30 after the show. Rise Up Show. Have a wicked Wednesday. I'll see you later, Tra.